Hi, gang. Here's the Saturday poll question at Smerconish.com. 'Tis the season. So I hope you like this one. Should universities punish students who make political statements during commencement addresses? Michael, why are you asking us that? Because things are happening on commencement stages, and I will share with you in just a moment. May I first mention, thank you, Parks Casino, just announced comedian Hannah Berner headlining at Parks Casino September 19, the classic rock band Kansas. Oh, Carry On My Wayward Son. It was actually Left Overture. That was the album, Kansas Left Overture, Carry On Wayward Son. Loved it. Just loved it. Still love it. Still listen to it. It's like my breakfast cereal. I never grow out of my 70s and early 80s musical tastes. Comedian Joey Diaz is coming. Parks Casino, my casino of choice. So much entertainment coming of all variety, whatever you're looking for. Ashley McBride, the country artist. Taj Mahal and Keb Mo. Gary Clark Jr., Mark Normand. Casey and the Sunshine Band. UB40, the English reggae and pop band, Australian Pink Floyd, Russell Peters, Bill Murray, as in, yes, that Bill Murray. They're all coming to Parks. They've got the table games. They've got the slots. They've got the booze. They've got the great dining. Dinner and drinks before the show. Liberty Bell Gastropub, the Beer Garden, Parks Grill Steakhouse, the Bamboo Noodle House, Chicky and Pete's. I mean, it's all there under one roof. Hey, it's Memorial Day weekend. If you have no plans and are looking for something to do, weather's been iffy in the Northeast, but getting a little bit better. But go to Parks Casino. Parks Casino, parkscasino.com. You got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So let me frame the poll question. Let me tell you why I'm focused on commencement exercises. And then I want to tell you that today is kind of a poignant day. I'm not sure what the right word is, but I want to explain that in just a moment. So I wanted to do something today that was commencement related because 'tis the season. I think we're all a degree of separation away from somebody who's graduating on a high school or college, maybe grad school level. And I loved the theme a couple of days ago on radio when I had Dr. Owen Zadar from Princeton on talking about careers, talking about high income earners, talking about how some of the stereotypes don't match the reality. So that was on my mind. And then I started seeing some incidents relative to students who are being recognized, and therefore they get access to the podium. And then when they get to the podium, they say something of a political nature, and then the schools are apoplectic and they don't know what to do about it. There was a column that I read in the Washington Post by Matt Bai. It will be in today's Saturday newsletter and posted at Smerconish.com. And the headline is, Graduates Speak Their Minds, Universities Freak Out. And he has two recent incidents, but I know that there are many more. The most recent example of this madness, according to Matt Bai, took place over the weekend at George Washington University. According to a report from the Post, Cecilia Culver, a graduate in statistics and economics, used her allotted speaking time at the school's commencement to condemn the war in Gaza and to call on the university to divest from companies doing business with Israel. GW swiftly reacted by banning Culver from campus and university-sponsored events, saying that she had veered from her approved remarks and that a moment of special celebration was violated. And then there were other groups that called for the revocation of her diploma. That apparently did not take place. And then that followed a decision at NYU to withhold a diploma from a graduating student, Logan Rozos, because he too departed from his script to speak out against Israel's mass killing of Palestinians in Gaza. And all of this, obviously, a very raw subject, even more so than it normally would be, because of the murder, because of the execution of that beautiful young couple on Capitol Hill just a couple of nights ago. So what do you do if you're the university? What do? You've got a valedictorian, you have someone who's being recognized, they get to say a few words, you ask if you can see their remarks in advance, they share their remarks, there's nothing there that's alarming, you want to maintain the decorum, but they veer and they say what they want to say. What do you do? That's the poll question today at Smerconish.com. And Matt Bai says this is really important because he says, in the end, you got to let it happen. In the end, his argument is you got to let it happen. And that it's ridiculous to think that a university can control whether you're getting that degree based on what you said at the podium when you've done all the work. And I agree with that. I agree with that. He acknowledges and says, I get it. If I were a parent at one of these ceremonies, I'd probably be irritated by a self-righteous, self-absorbed tirade in the middle of graduation. And I understand that for American Jews, there's a fear that even thoughtful criticism of Israel's brutal conduct of the war in Gaza is now giving cover to the worst kind of age-old anti-Semitism. The horrific shooting of 2 employees of the Israeli embassy in D.C. this week lent credence to that fear. But if we can just leave aside for the moment anything having to do with our views of Israel or Gaza, there are 3 things on which any enlightened American, and especially those of us who've spent a bunch of time on college campuses, ought to agree. 1, the purpose of higher education is not to make you feel cozy and comfortable, and he expands on that. 2nd, no university that's true to its values ought to attempt to censor a student's remarks. And 3rd, at a minimum, we should all agree that if you've spent 4 years earning a degree and have done so with distinction to have been chosen as a commencement speaker, no university has a right to take that diploma away. I mean, unless somebody can tell me a response shy of denying access on the campus or saying we're not going to honor all the work you've done for 4 years or 3 of graduate school, I think that's probably the right outcome. And by the way, the more the more that universities react to the student who takes control of the podium and goes off script, I think all they do is incite the next one. You've heard my example, it's the booby bracelet. You know, kids were showing up at a New Jersey school district a number of years ago. I think it said boobs. I don't even remember, but it was a breast cancer awareness thing. And instead of just ignoring it and letting it pass, it would have been a 1 or 2 day fad. The schools overreacted, told kids they couldn't wear the bracelets, lawsuit gets filed. I feel the same way about this. I'm excited to do my opening commentary today on CNN, as I say, commencement related, where I'm going to begin this way. Congratulations to the class of 2025. Go forth and make some money, the boring way. And then I'm going to draw on the work of Dr. Zadar and Zwick, Zadar at Princeton, Zwick at University of Chicago. They looked at S corporations. They looked at S corporations with a pass-through, and they noted something, and that is that when you look at the American workforce, for 95+%, it's all wage driven. And when you get to the top 1%, and I'm not thinking investment bankers, and I'm not thinking Silicon Valley, it is business owners. It's the millionaire next door. It's the stealthy wealthy. It's the everywhere millionaire. Those are all tags that are used to describe the individuals that I have in mind. And I thought in this television program that I'm about to deliver in commencement season, that I would make a pitch very similar to highlighting on my show 2 weeks ago, the number of welders being trained right here in Philadelphia at Father Judge, and already being offered $75,000 as a starting salary, no college debt, because they've been trained in school to be a welder. And I thought I would follow up on that and highlight the success that many have in business by working hard in skilled trades and other entrepreneurial ventures. Here's one data point from the Wall Street Journal. The largest source of income for the 1% highest earners in the US isn't being a partner at an investment bank or launching a 1 in a million tech startup. It is owning a medium-sized regional business. Many of them are distinctly boring and extremely lucrative, like auto dealers, beverage distributors, grocery stores, dental practices, law firms. They looked at private jet and yacht data, ownership data, and they found that oftentimes they were owned by individuals in middle America who had very successful medium-sized businesses. They were not household names, but they were doing extremely well. And I don't think we talk enough about that in this country. So I thought today would be the perfect day to do it. The takeaway from some of the data, if we examine everybody in the United States, focus on the top 10% of earners, for the most, their source of income is wages. But for the very top, those at the 1% level, it flips, and most of them are getting most of their income through profits from their businesses. And then I'm going to cite some examples of some of these entrepreneurs, like the guy who founded WeatherTech that you may have in your car, or the hot dog king of Chicago, whose name is Dick Portillo. Not to be confused with the sausage king of Chicago, who Ferris Bueller talked about, if my memory is correct. So excited to do that. Go vote on the poll question of the day today. Should universities punish students who make political statements during commencement exercises? Mine is a no vote. I might be offended by the speech, but mine is a no vote. Of all places on a college campus, I don't think you can do that. Okay? All right. Go vote, go vote, go vote. Now, let me tell you something else. This is a special day because I'm here and I'm live at Video Link in Philadelphia. And for much of the last 10 years, I recently celebrated my 12th anniversary on CNN. 12th anniversary on CNN, 11th on CNN, 11th on CNN, get this straight, 12th on Sirius XM, and 35th on radio generally. Yeah, I think I just got that right. So for much of the last decade, when I began at CNN, my routine was to get on the train on Friday, post radio, go to New York City, go to CNN, work on the following day's program, sleep overnight, deliver it from New York. And then over time, and with the permission and support of Jeff Zucker, who was the president of CNN, instead, I began to do the show here at Video Link in Philadelphia. And over the span of the last decade, I can tell you from the times that I would be on the road, there was a Video Link in every major city. An independent studio like the one that I'm seated in right now that had relationships with CNN, had relationships with Fox, had relationships with MSNBC, and were for hire. It's a studio, so that if you needed a guest and the guest was located in city X, that guest for whatever the program, Fox, MSN, CNN, would be invited to go to that particular studio. The studio would be paid a fee by the cable outlet, by the network. They would do the connection. The guest would sit where I'm sitting right now, and they would appear live on television. And that had been the model. That had been the model for a decade. Well, a decade of hosting my own show. Before I was the host of my own show, I would come in to this studio or other studios like it, wherever I might be in the country, and do a quick hit. As a matter of fact, preceding Video Link in Philadelphia, there was another business. It was called Modern Video. And I was a regular customer of theirs long before I had my own CNN program. And before I was guest hosting for Chris Matthews on Hardball, I was doing legal commentary for CNN, 3-4 minute hits at a time. My friend Avery Friedman in Cleveland, we would often be paired together, and I would go to Modern Video. I would come into the city just for a quick hit, less than 5 minutes. They went out of business. So the point is this: then came the pandemic. And when the pandemic came, people couldn't come into studios or wouldn't come into studios. And all of a sudden now the technology existed, but the networks didn't love it. For you to simply be on a laptop, as I'm speaking to you right now on a laptop. And the technology got better, the signal quality got better, the picture quality got better. The pandemic ends, And the networks say, why are we paying X dollars every time we're sending a guest to one of these studios? We're not going to do that anymore. Now, instead, we're just going to allow people to be on their own technology. It could even be a phone. And now that I tell you this, you're going to take note of how you see and where you see guests on programs like mine. So 2 months ago, I walk in here on a Saturday morning in Philadelphia, as I've done for 10 years, working with the same people. I have the same drill. I left my house today at the same time. I got to the Wawa at 22nd and South Street at exactly the same time. I'm a creature of habit. And when I came in 2 months ago, they said, we're sorry, about that bad news. And I'm like, what bad news? Oh, we're closing. So today, after 10 years of hosting my own program, often from here, this is no Jamal. There are no others. There are no others like this. This is it. That my whole point is that the video links all across the country. I was in San Francisco a month ago. And when I was in San Francisco, you may or may not remember me doing my show remotely from San Francisco. There had been a place that I'd used over the years. I really liked it because the lighting was great. They don't do the work anymore. So yeah, no, Mary, it's okay. It's okay. And no, Nancy, I'm not getting a home office studio, but we have just begun the construction of the build out of a new studio. And the new studio, I got a lot going on in this regard because the new studio will house both radio and television. So that's my summer. Suddenly, that's my summer is the build out for a new, and I've long wanted to have radio and TV under the same roof. It's actually good news. I mean, I'm sorry about this business going out of business because it's been a good ride. But anyway, today's the final day. So there have been hundreds, there have been thousands of hits from this studio and the studio next door over the years. And my show today is the last. In fact, I was supposed to be out of here a week ago, and then they were able to extend me for 1 week. So watch CNN today and know this is the final live hit from VideoLink in Philadelphia ever. It's been a really good run. I've enjoyed the people here, a lot of different personalities, young people, different producers over the years. And it's been a good experience. And some funny things have happened along the way, as you can imagine. So thinking about all that today. So yes, Parks Casino would love to host me. Yes, they would. Kerry, no, not in the city proper. Chuck Hall, take the chair. Chuck, I there's nothing I want. I looked around because the place, I can tell everybody is starting to take little things, but there's nothing I want. Yeah. Thank you, Thomas. It has been a good run. Will you write another book as a result of this? No. Leave that awful backdrop. William Mosley. Wow. Okay. The notes are really coming out now, aren't they? Harvey, what was DB like? Yeah. The squirrels. You remember the squirrel? Oh my God. So I'm just looking at all of you. All right, thank you. I'll read all these later. All these comments later. I got to get my act together. I just thought you would like to know that. And as you watch the CNN show today, you've got a little better understanding of the backstory. And this is it. I cannot believe I'm going to go deliver this show and then walk out of here and never come in this space again. 10 years, most every Saturday, rain, like the postman, rain, snow, and through everything. All right. Thank you. Appreciate you. Will you like and subscribe? Like and subscribe. Set yourself up for notifications and vote on today's poll question. I'll see you soon on TV for the last. Do you think I should say, I'm Michael Smerconish in Philadelphia? Of course, I'm going to say that. Should I say, I'm Michael Smerconish from Video Link in Philadelphia? Nobody else would get it except you guys. You know, nobody else would get it. All right. Yes, Jamal, go give somebody a hug. Thank you. Change is good. Change is good, Kelly. Okay, change is good. See you, gang. Appreciate all of you.